It's Madden NFL 23. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Cincinnati Bengals and the Buffalo Bills. Next on EA Sports.
Yes, nothing quite like Buffalo in January as we welcome you inside a snowy Highmark Stadium near the shores of Lake Erie. Today, we're set for a good AFC matchup between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Buffalo Bills. Welcome again, one and all. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Brandon Gaudin on hand alongside Charles Davis. And yes, the storyline here, the weather. Snow and more of it expected as this game continues. So how will that impact how this one goes?
Can these teams ignore the distraction and the strangeness of playing in a snow game? Because it actually affects the crowd as well. That big roar you get is often muffled when there's a snow game. And the second part, what's the footwear you got on? Does that fit the turf you're playing on? And how will it handle as things get a little bit slick?
And we are underway in Buffalo. From the 6. And they were ringing them down a couple yards shy of the 30. Out comes the offense for the Bills, led by their quarterback at 6'5". That's Josh Allen.
And in this league, there are many quarterbacks who have their most success running the ball, while there are others who have big arms. There aren't too many guys who can do both. And at the end of many games, this guy leads his team not just in passing, but in rushing as well.
They start the drive with Cook. And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it. It's second down.
I think that's the type of run we'll continue to see throughout this game. The snow coming down, I don't expect a lot of big plays to be broken.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Now the first carry for Devin Singletary. And he'll take this to the 32, a gain of about 3. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
This defense looking for an early stop. This is 3rd down and 6. 3rd down, here's a run by Cook. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. Able to get what they need to keep the drive going with a 6-yard pickup on 3rd down.
I definitely like the play call. You don't expect it on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, do you? You expect a pass play. Had a little courage there to call the run, and boy, they were successful.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll run on 1st down with Singletary. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Trey Hendrickson, the one who gets him on the ground. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
And here's another tackle made at the line, so they're converging well on the football now. Officially nothing on that one, no gain, so they're left with still 10 to go on third down. Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. Throwing is Allen on third. He's got him in, complete. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. So they will wave off the flag and let the completion stand.
Really great job by the receiver fighting through all the contact and still coming down with the football. All that great work in practice being put into the game.
They go right back to Singletary. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. Second down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Allen going to give this one to Singletary. And he is going to be close to a first down as the tackle made at the Bengals' 18-yard line. Good work to pick up 7 yards there. That gets him into a 3rd and 1 situation.
The defense has been on the field a long time now, and after a run like that, they've got to feel like they're almost on roller skates and getting pushed backwards on just about every snap.
Play number 9 now on this pretty long opening drive, but this is 3rd down. They'll try and run for this with Singletary. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down.
Just a simple run play there on 3rd and 1, but this D was up to the challenge and stopped them, bringing up 4th down.
So on 4th down, out is Tyler Bass in the Buffalo field goal unit. Right hash, 37-yard attempt. The kick by Bass is good. And the Bills' opening drive yields 3. Never ideal conditions in the snow for a kicker, but the first test on the opening drive, he passed it.
He certainly did. You know what the unit told me was their biggest issue playing in the snow? You just worry about something getting in your eye as the ball is snapped, and then you might miss it, and there goes 3 points off the board.
So after knocking through the field goal, here's Bass to kick it away. And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback. Here come the Bengals. And CD, of course, it's Joe Burrow out of LSU at quarterback.
Hey, we all love a good story. And what we like even more, guys who can fight through adversity. Joe Burrow coming out of high school, goes to Ohio State, doesn't get a chance to start, transfers to LSU, not thought to be a top prospect, ends up the #1 pick in the draft, and justifies it. Tremendous play, excellent mobility, and leadership off the charts.
Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete.
No coverage bust by the defense here. They did a nice job accounting for everybody, and that led to an incompletion.
So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now it's Burrow. He'll drop this one down to Mixon. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get it out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
From the gun on 3rd down is Burrow. Open receiver, that's Hayden Hurst, the tight end. And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. When you give up points on the opening drive, in this case a field goal, you'd hate to go 3 and out. They avoid that.
They do, and it's also walking that fine line mentally, too, as a coach, isn't it? Because you want to emphasize to your team exactly what you said. All right, we gave up a field goal. Let's go back and at least equal that, guys. But if we don't, you don't want them to feel like it's the end of the world either. Nice that they were able to pick up the first down there, help them relax a little bit.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. A first carry for the former Oklahoma Sooner, Joe Mixon. And able to get this one all the way up to about the 46-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Next, the receivers helped spread the defense out, and they were able to come through with a slashing run.
But to that point, it's going to be interesting to see the personnel chess match as this one progresses.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Can they continue to create running lanes out of passing sets? And if so, it's going to be a long day for the defense.
Throwing on 2nd and 3. Burrow. This goes out wide for Mixon. And they'll get this down around the 47-yard line. Well, we know he can run the football too, but he's a good pass catcher. That's been on display here, Charles, on this opening drive.
And we certainly have seen the benefits of what he did in the offseason, which was spend more time with wide receivers, working on routes, working on cuts, in order to make himself a more complete running back and even more of a threat downfield.
So 1st and 10 now in Buffalo territory at the 47. Now Burrow. That one taken in by T. Higgins. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30. We got to like what you're seeing from this offense here on the first drive. A nice sustained series to begin the game, and it will continue after picking up another first there.
Would you say the word methodical comes to mind? I love the execution. I love what they're doing on this drive. They're controlling the ball, controlling the game, controlling the clock.
First down. Here's Burrow. They'll set up the screen here to Mixon. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. But despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. 2nd down. And forget about the run to set up the pass. They're just coming out throwing.
Forget trying to set anything up. They feel like they have the advantage. They feel like they have the matchups, and they're just attacking right now.
They're going to the air on the opening drive. So maybe just a momentary setback on what's been a great drive so far, but 2nd and 13 here. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. This pass complete to Higgins. And he's going to get this down near the 25.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
To the air again, Burrow. He gets this in the hands of Mixon. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
A field goal helps, but a touchdown gets you the lead. That had to be the message transmitted in the huddle. And they delivered there as that throw is going to keep the drive alive. And even better than that, set them up with a 1st and goal.
throw. And it's caught. A gain of 7 that time. Second and goal. Well, that's not just his first, not his second, already his third completion here on the opening drive. And I think it's safe to say that getting him the ball in this game, one of their top priorities.
And the top priority for the defense has got to be finding ways to cover him. And I don't think you can have one basic coverage to get it done. You have to throw a number of coverages at him, make him think as he's running.
And that'll be caught. Touchdown, Bengals. It's Tyler Boyd. 2 yards on the touchdown there. And the Bengals have answered that early field goal to take a first-quarter lead. On those slants, everything happens so quickly. What makes it work?
The timing between the passer and the receiver. In this case, a slant route. Ordinarily, it's probably about 3 steps before you go on the slant. In this amount of time, I think it was a 2-step deal. Boom, put his foot in the ground and got inside for the pass.
Got inside for the pass, got inside for the catch and the score. You always worry about the plant foot in the snow, but no problems there. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. Takes it at the 7. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. So here come the Bills out for their second drive. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. First down, and they're going to throw with Allen. And Diggs has it. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. 25 yards that time.
Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a first down.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Singletary, they'll go up the middle. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
So not quite a first down just yet as they come up on second and less than a yard. Singletary again. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. On the handoff, running left, Singletary. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And the Bengals grab it. And he'll bring this one back to the 29.
Thank goodness for heaters up here. And thank goodness I don't have to carry the football in this game. It's January. It's cold out there. Trying to clutch the football and absorb the hits, not easily done.
Yeah, we saw a product of the elements right there. Cincinnati coming back onto the field here for their second drive. Well, the football changing hands here, and as this offense takes the field, Charles, they'd be fine with more of the same on this upcoming drive. Last time out, they found the end zone for 6.
And they're certainly hoping for more of the same, but the game plan, I doubt it'll just be a carbon copy of the last drive, because I think this offense is ready to break out some new wrinkles and try some new things that might be hidden in their playbook. They want to use that confidence to its advantage while also keeping the defense from anticipating what's up next.
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he'll scratch out a yard up to the 30, and that's all.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
Not a ton of room available on that one, but he made use of what space was available and gained decent yardage.
After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Start of the second quarter, and it's the Bengals in control of the football. With a heavy set out there, 3 tight ends in the formation for 3rd and 3. They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And he'll be tackled about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. A 1-yard pickup leads to 4th down.
You know, we might start getting some props here in the booth. You know, that one that says the D and then the fence that you put up next to it. How about that? They brought out the jumbo package and still couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage enough to pick up that first down.
Impressive. They were ready defensively for that jumbo set. Fourth down, out comes the punter, Drew Chrisman. Back deep, Naheem Hines. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. Right now they're on the wrong end of the scoreboard, and that won't change if this drive ends like the last one when they had that lost fumble. So you have a feeling taking care of the football certainly paramount right now.
Yeah, and it's not just the guy who dropped it on the last drive, is it? That means everyone who might touch the ball is getting the same message. Guys, ball security, paramount. Let's take care of it. And if we do, we've got a chance to put points on the board.
A play fake to Singletary, and now it's Allen. Looking for Knox on the crossing route. It's complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. So the PI decline, and that'll give him a fresh set of downs.
And when you scout tight ends, one thing you want to know, just how strong they are. And we saw it in evidence there. He was able to fight through all the contact and still secure the football.
So good field position for the Bills as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Allen. And this is Cook with the ground. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line.
There it is, a staple of most teams' playbooks, the angle route. A lot of times you want to take away that inside route by a back, but when they sell it like he's going to the flat, that is tough on inside linebackers. One false step, and that ball's completed.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Play action. Now it's Allen. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another 1st down.
On 2nd down, here's a run with Singletary. And good space to operate there as he takes this down inside the 35-yard line. 11 yards and a Buffalo first down.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Here's Allen. That's caught by Gabriel Davis. And he'll be hauled down at about the 30-yard line. From the 30 on 2nd down, Allen. There's Stephon Diggs for the catch on the slam. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 20-yard line. 11 more yards there, and this methodical drive continues. Operating from the red zone now, Allen. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete.
That was a difficult catch, and I admire the fact that he actually caught the football, worked so hard to get his feet down inbounds, tried to do the toe tap. My dad's an accomplished tap dancer. I'm not sure he would have gotten his feet in on that one.
Is he really, by the way?
That he is.
How about that? What about young Davis?
No, it did not cross.
It didn't carry over.
No, it stopped right there.
And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. Josh Allen, very athletic at 6'5", showing the versatility, picking up the first on the scramble.
There's a downside to everything, and the danger of man coverage is if you're locking down your target, you often turn your back to the quarterback and you don't see him. Sometimes you open up a big lane for him to hit you for big yardage, and that was an astute play by him to scramble out, see that lane, and burn them for a first down.
To the air, Allen. This is caught. Touchdown! Dawson Knox, a touchdown grab from Josh Allen. And the Bills are once again back in front.
For good reason, quarterbacks want to get the ball to the perimeter to their wide receivers for big plays. But in this situation, it felt like, based on coverage, he knew that he wanted his tight end to have the football, and for good reason.
It's Tyler Bass on for the extra point attempt. And it's through, and that makes the lead 10-7. So that drive, 80 yards, 9 plays. And it ends in a Buffalo touchdown. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Fielded right around the 8. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, and they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10 at their own 23. He'll hand it off here. This is Mixon. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
On 2nd and 7, Burrow. He completes it to Boyd. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down. They're passing here, Joe Burrow. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better, got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Burrow. Man open. That's Jamar Chase complete. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. And Burrow going to throw again. And that is incomplete. Oh, he did everything but hold on to it. But a nice play defensively, and now it brings up 4th down.
Coverage was awfully tight there on 3rd down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
On 4th down, Drew Chrisman on to punt. And you can't do it much better than that. This ball kicks out of bounds at the 4-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. Well, certainly they'd rather have the scenario they had last time out, Charles. Remember, they had the short field. They took it in the end zone. Now this is going to have to be a longer, more sustained drive if they want to get points.
Yeah, a little bit more of a quick strike opportunity last time by where they were on the field, and you're exactly right about that. But now, backed up a little bit. What's that old expression we love to use? Time to matriculate the ball down the field and try and do it again.
A gain of 3, 2nd down.
And that's frustrating for a defense because they've got them pinned down deep. And on the first play, they gave up a run that keeps an offense on schedule.
Yeah, because 3 to 4 yards, that's all you're looking for right there, right?
That's absolutely perfect, really, as a play call. You get 3 to 4 yards on first down. That's what they talk about us all the time, about being ahead of the chains or on target, ahead of schedule. They were after that run.
And they'll get him down up past the 15. Allen and Knox teaming up there for Buffalo first down.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Thanks to that last play, a little more room to operate. 1st and 10 at the 18. To throw, it's Allen going deep for Diggs. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep, try and throw some air under it, and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
Allen again here on 2nd and 10. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. They push him back 8 yards that time on 2nd down. Now, the number one mission of any offensive line, you got to protect that quarterback, keep him safe back there. This time, the rush got to him in a hurry.
And this came from the edge, and those pass rushers, they have so many tricks of the trade to get around blockers. They have a lot of tools in their kit. This was pure speed and athleticism on this play, though, and they could barely get a glove on him before he got the quarterback on the ground.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And bringing it in, it's Davis. 30, 10, 5, and all the way home for a Bills touchdown. I think it's fair to say there's nothing that gets a crowd to its feet quite like a big play, and that was something special there. Boy, was he moving.
Well, in this league where coordinators worry so much about drawing up the right routes, blocking assignments, misdirections and stuff, they have these precise arrows and movements. Sometimes the best plays just come from the schoolyard where you look at your fastest guy and say, go long, go get it, big man.
And if you're wondering how fast he was going, next-gen stats clocked him at close to 21 miles an hour. Here's Bass now for the extra point. It's good to make it 17-7. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it ends with a touchdown pass to Gabriel Davis. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. Cincinnati's offense coming back here onto the field. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that in just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Mixing up the middle. Down he goes at the 23, a pickup of 4.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. That's the tight end Hurst with it. And oh, he's just going to be short here, barely, maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches.
I thought maybe when he caught it, he'd have a good chance of getting that first down, but that's a nice job of holding him up and preventing him from getting to the sticks.
Here's Drew Chrisman now. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this returnable for Hines. It'll be a 44-yard punt. The return goes for 8. And the Bills will take over the football with a 1st and 10. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
Here's Allen working the middle here. That's complete to Knox, the tight end. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down.
But normally you see three tight ends in a formation. You have to think to yourself, this has got to be a run. And I know as a safety, when I saw that, I took an extra step or two towards the line of scrimmage. Instead, they threw the ball, and he found one of those tight ends for a very nice pickup.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Now Allen. Going right back to Knox, and again a completion. And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35.
And that was good protection there. No, that was great protection there because it allowed him to lock in on his receiver. Although I think he was looking for his tight end on the corner route all the way. Nice connection there for a really nice gain.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 36. Allen off the play fake. Rolling to his right. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
I do think it's fair to say that they were caught off guard a little bit when he decided not to throw it on 1st down. But give them credit. They recovered in time to deny him the 1st down yardage. But it's only 2nd and short. So that run is still likely to lead to a new set of downs.
A give up the middle to Singletary. And he's able to motor his way down to the 16-yard line. 51 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Finding Knox there, complete. And he'll be taken down after a pickup of about 7 as the clock will stop here for the 2-minute warning. That'll go for a gain of 7, and that's going to bring up 2nd down. So the shotgun snap to Allen. And he's got it. Got his man on the end route. Complete. And the Bills are looking at 1st and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone.
He will find Diggs in the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo. 2 yards on the touchdown there. And his guy's now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead. And all about timing there on that short slant, Charles.
Exactly right. That was timed up so well. The route, the throw, touchdown.
Bass on for the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. So this drive spans 7 plays. And it's finished off by the touchdown by Stephon Diggs. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Fielded right around the 8. And he takes this near the 25, just a little pass there, call it the 26. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here.
And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Off the play fake, here's Burrow. And that is incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Out of the gun, it's Burrow. Quick slant caught by Chase. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Burrow to his old LSU teammate Chase for a Bengal first.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
First and 10 here. You know, if they could just get 3 out of this, there's something about narrowing it to a 2-score game at half that makes it feel like much less of an obstacle. Burrow's throw caught by Higgins. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
Throwing again, it's Burrow. Toward the sideline, and that is a nice catch as he's able to tiptoe his way out of bounds. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. Ahead of the chains now, 2nd and 2. Now Burrow. Boyd's the target, and he has it over the middle. And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now it's Burrow. And the Bills are going to get him as he goes down. They overload him that time with a safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7. And offensively, they'll take the timeout with 6 seconds left in the second quarter. So on 2nd down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. And this will be spotted on the other side of the field. It's a 61-yard attempt. And this won't get there. Won't be on line either. It's no good. Off to the right, and the deficit will stay at 3 scores.
Well, partner, it's almost a little jarring to see a holder set up on the other side of midfield. I haven't brought out my binoculars to make sure on that one. That is showing an awful lot of confidence in a kicker to try and hit from 61 yards, and this one winds up no good.
On the give, this is Singletary. And good work there in open space. And he's got this all the way down now to the 32. So we've reached halftime here in Orchard Park, where the Bills taking the lead into the break. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Back to you guys in a bit. But first, we welcome everyone to our EA Sports halftime report. First, though, time for a check of the next-gen stats from that first half for Cincinnati. And they didn't get a whole lot accomplished through the air in those first 2 quarters of play. They'll need to up their game if they want to rally all the way back.
All right, Coach, thank you very much as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. Not too many breaks ahead according to the radar. More snow on the horizon as we are back underway in half number 2. And he will not bring it out. It's a touchback. The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball to the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. Following the incomplete pass, here they go again, 2nd and 10 from the 25. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Open man is Higgins. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes, and they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air, and sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. 4 yards on the pickup, good enough to extend the drive.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Once again, they run with Mixon. And some room to work. And a strong run that time as he's across midfield and down to the 43. 44 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
So 1st and 10 now in Buffalo territory at the 43. Inside handoff to Mixon. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he works gets it past the 30, almost to the 25. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a first down again. He finds his way into the secondary again on this drive. They might want to try getting him down a little closer to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, what do they call that? Third level run. First level being the D-line and linebacker. Second level in the secondary, the third. When you block it up well and you make the secondary do all the tackling, that will wear on a defense.
And now they will throw it with Burrow. Here's Higgins out of the right side. Touchdown, Bengals. T. Higgins, 27 yards. And the Bengals are able to make some inroads here to that deficit. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there's an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And the lead down to 10, 24-14. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And he won't quite make it to the 25. So here's the Bills offense now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. And they were terrific in the first half, built up a sizable lead, and it's just been cut into a bit following the opening drive score on the other side. But this is a unit that has to be itching to get the football again.
You can say that again. They've got to be pretty eager because, let's face it, they've had to sit through halftime, then sit on the sidelines and watch that drive. So you can bet that they're saying, let's get on with this. We got to go out there and get some more points.
On first down, they'll start out with Singletary. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
Nice chunk of yards on first down. It really opens up your options for what you want to do on second. You go right back to him and hope he explodes, or sucker the defense in before throwing over the top.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. On the handoff, it's Singletary. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll run here with Singletary. And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be second down.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. And now they'll throw with Allen. The throw on target to his receiver, McKenzie. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Two first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. They run the counter with Cook. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
some of the most unselfish players on any football team? Defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Here's Allen. And that is caught. It's Davis. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 31-yard line. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
First down, and they're going to throw with Allen. Right back to Davis. It's complete. And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line. Back to the ground, Cook. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Again, it's Cook. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. It's Logan Wilson there to bring him down. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. The escapability in evidence there as that one good for 15 in the first.
At this point, this offense feels like they could just roll out anything, and it would work. They are certainly in no hurry for this one to end, not when they can rack up some stats and continue to add to their lead.
Singletary is not going anywhere. He'll be hit and dropped for no gain at the 2-yard line. Nothing on that one. It'll be 2nd down.
And now defensively, you have to look at this like the game's on the line. It's just the 3rd quarter, but another touchdown given up here could really spell an end to their chances, so they need to toughen up and keep them out of the end zone.
Singletary again. And good work there defensively as they're able to keep him out of the end zone. The 2nd down play not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is a time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4 down.
And he's got his tight end Knox for a Bills touchdown. A great effort there. A beast in the red zone with his 2nd touchdown of the game. And his guy's now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead. Well, he has been fun to watch throwing the football in this one. And certainly not fun for that defense, though, Charles. Now up to 4 touchdown passes in this ball game.
Yeah, we're supposed to be neutral, but I'm feeling their pain right now because he has absolutely carved up this secondary. A clinic on how to attack a defense and take them out of the game.
An extra point by Bass, up and good. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now this Bengals offensive unit ready to see what they can do here.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They begin with a run by Mixon. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Burrow will throw. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And give him 6 yards here as he's stopped near the 35 at the 34.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From the gun to give to Mixon. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36.
I like his focus there because he wasn't thinking about breaking that one big. All he thought about was, I need 1. Let's go get that. Ended up picking up 2.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Boyd. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
From the 44, Burrow. He's got his big tight end. That's Hurst. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a 1st down.
Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Bengal got going a little early there.
Jonah Williams, former 1st-round pick, the guilty party.
The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Here's Burrow. Now again, that's Hurst. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
That coach is always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
On 2nd down, here's Mixon. And some room to run now. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score.
So there you go. They needed a big play, and they got one there on the touchdown run.
And that was a very important drive. Of course, they all are when you're trailing in the 2nd half. But what I really liked, they didn't panic. They knew they still had time to run the football and keep playing their game.
And McPherson on for the extra point.
And the lead is trimmed down to 10. So that a 7-play, 80-yard drive. And it all culminated in the touchdown run coming from Joe Mixon. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. Fielded right around the 8. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Josh Allen leads the offense out for their next possession. He continues to just torch this defense. Perfect on the last drive, including his 4th touchdown pass of the game.
Similar to hitters that are in that great zone in baseball, and they say the ball looks bigger when it's approaching the plate and they're smacking it around. I think for him, the windows to throw into are wide open. Doesn't matter whether they're tight or not. He feels like it's wide open, puts it in there. 4 touchdown passes. He thinks he's going to throw a whole lot more before this one's over.
The throw down the field, caught by his running back. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
I'll tell you, far from ideal conditions to play in, but neither offense has had much trouble. Plenty of points to go around. 1st and 10. And meanwhile, Allen's throw here taken in by Knox. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 right at the 40. Allen going to give this one to Singletary. And down inside the 35 he goes to the 32-yard line. 95 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. And I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this 4th quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Trey Hendrickson able to drop him for a loss of a couple.
I thought there at the end he may have had a chance to release that, but that pocket closed a little too quickly, and down he went.
Yeah, he was certainly trying to do everything he could to extend the life of the play, probably counting in his head 1, 2, and then he ran out of time.
Allen going to try and throw on 3rd down. Setting up the screen for Cook. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
It looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. This from 54 yards away. And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. And the lead will hold at 10.
Now, Charles, all things considered, I guess that's not a critical miss at this stage, is it?
No, but still everything helps when you're trying to finish off a ball game. And you're right, not critical in terms of the scoreboard and the team, but the guy with the golden foot, he knows he's only as good as his last kick.
The Bengals offense returns to the field. Their defense was able to hold serve, albeit with a little help from that missed field goal as they settle in now 1st and 10. Burrow looking to pass. They'll set up the screen here to mix it. The first down screen pass, good for 5.
And a really nice play call there to start the drive, especially if you're a team that has a little bit of a reputation for throwing it downfield. You come out and you think maybe you can catch them off guard a little bit, and they did. Little screen pass, backdoored them, and that time worked well for a solid gain.
Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Bengal got going a little early there. So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit. The false start penalty, and now they're back to needing 10 yards on second down. From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. Throw left side, caught by the tight end, Hurst. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45.
Well, every drive from here out is definitely crucial and critical. They know that they need to get at least 3 here to get it back to a one-score game. But I can't imagine that in their huddle that they're thinking at all about getting a field goal. They want to get into the end zone and then try and get the ball back again.
Throwing now, Burrow on first down. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Now it's Burrow. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, plain and simple, that's the second time today that he's dropped a pass.
And that one, I think, maybe even a little easier than the earlier one that he dropped. Surprising.
Was this game announced as a night game prior to it? Maybe his rhythm is just off. He's got thrown off. He's going to have to wake up, enjoy the sunshine, and go play.
To the air again, Burrow. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And this is incomplete. Oh, that looked like a sure 6 points. But he could not get that to stick. And that is a golden opportunity wasted there.
Give him big credit for his coverage right there, because when he saw the route break deep, he stayed in position to prevent a completion while avoiding any risk of a flag.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This will approach NFL record territory. It's a 62-yard attempt. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And they will not cut into that 10-point lead. And that one, just an absolute killer. A chance to get this back within 1 score.
All hope not gone yet. But at the same time, you're exactly right. They needed to get back within 1 score and have a motivated defense take the field in order to get it back for them for one last big drive.
Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. And even with the missed field goal that we just saw, they still have to try and erase a 2-score 4th quarter deficit. Throwing on first down is Allen. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
I like how he hung in there and went through his progressions, but eventually his internal clock went off and told him it was time to make a run for it, and he ends up sliding down with a solid gain.
Second and 2. So they fake the handoff. Now Allen. Throw left side complete. That's McKenzie. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage, if he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
And they're going to move it down inside the 25.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomped down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. Here's Allen on 1st and 10. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's McKenzie. And he's going to be taken down right at the 10-yard line. Well, normally you might say start running the football. You've got the lead here in the 4th quarter, but the way that they passed it with such success, I don't know, maybe keep throwing it.
Yeah, I think you brought up something that goes against conventional wisdom, right? In this stage of the game, you would think you would switch to a running attack, but you're exactly right. They've thrown it so well throughout the game. And trusting this quarterback, I think you continue to do so.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10.
Singletary, they'll go up the middle. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line.
102 yards rushing for him now to this point. If you can keep getting gains like that, Charles, with the lead here in the 4th quarter, I mean, keep running it, right?
No doubt about it, but what the offense coordinator has to do is understand they're going to continue to stack the line of scrimmage. What runs do you have in your arsenal that'll work against a stacked box and continue to move the ball?
Right back to Singletary on 2nd down.
Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature in the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
The Bills on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. Here it's 3rd and 3. Allen going to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Buffalo.
Gabriel Davis
with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Bills are an extra point away from making this a 3-score game. Well, that's just how they drew it up, CD. His first read was there, got it to him quickly and into the end zone.
Absolutely excellent execution by all involved. And the coordinator, got to give him credit, found the perfect play call. Quarterback let it fly as soon as the target came free, and his guy made a nice catch. Just how you draw it up in practice and then execute it in the game.
Extra point by Bass, up and good.
And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Fielded right around the 8. So already not the best of kick returns there, but that penalty, that adds insult to injury and backs him up even closer to the goal line.
Yeah, not ideal field position to begin a drive, is it? Because the extra pressure now goes on the offense. They've got to get some early yards and get away from the shadow of their own goalposts. What every offense wants to do in this situation, get 2 first downs to help out with field position at the least.
First down, here's Burrow. His throw incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Meanwhile, Burrow's throw caught by Higgins. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Now Burrow. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
The Bengals bring out their punter now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. Hines now on the return. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And they will take over 1st and 10. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Well, the win for them at this point seems pretty assured. I mean, still a decent amount of time left here in the 4th quarter, Charles, but you got the football. You're up 3 scores. They have to be feeling really good about where they're at.
I love your observation skills, partner, because I think you saw them charge onto the field fired up about another chance to get into the end zone. Looks to me like this group is ready to crush any hope left on the opposing sideline, and they want to do it with some gusto, too.
Takes it to about the 37. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
On 2nd down, here's a run with Singletary. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it 1 more time, so make sure you get in shape.
And he is going to have the Bills 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. The passing game continues to be their friend, even with a stable lead here in the 4th, Charles. They're going back to that well.
Yeah, with their overall philosophy, you know that they trust their quarterback. He's been able to throw it well. They continue to throw these safe passes. Who can blame them?
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Allen's throw is complete, and they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. It's a gain of 19 down to the 19, and it's a 1st down. Well, clear running situation, trying to take time off the clock. He ran the previous play, set that play action up nicely.
Boy, did they ever, because they had shown the ability to run the football. So now you lose your keys as a defense. You dive for the running play, and they hit them over the top.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. And he's got it. And he's going to be taken down. Plus, there's a penalty flag in the backfield. They may get 15 more on top of this. Well, things obviously not going their way. Trailing here in the 4th quarter, and that penalty going to go ahead and give the other side some extra yardage.
We all know it's an intense game and things can get heated out there. That's part of the battle. But bottom line, you got to keep your cool. That was not an example of doing that.
And he will not get away. He's sacked back around the 3-yard line. Sam Hubbard making his presence felt in the backfield.
On any first and goal, the real estate to work with for the offense is really cut down, and the defense knows it. So they often bring heat and pressure, which they did on this play. Got him down for a loss. Not a big one, but any loss of yardage in this position is tough for an offense.
They'll look to run with Singletary, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
That's a nice example of good team defense right there. Ball was snapped at the 1-yard line. They knocked him back and caused a loss. But you notice they were trying to find any type of a gap to run through. Wasn't one available, and they stuffed the play right there in the middle of the field.
Allen now on 3rd and goal. And this is caught for a Bills touchdown. Gabriel Davis, a 5-yard touchdown, as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. He's got them out now to a 3-score lead here in the 4th quarter after that one, CD. And well, he looked right off the line like he knew that that ball was coming his way, and he secured it for 6 points.
Yeah, I think when you're leading by a healthy margin already, it actually loosens you up and allows you to take maybe a few more chances and definitely play with more confidence, because he certainly saw something he could exploit in the defense, and he made sure to let his quarterback know, just get it to me. And the rest was all up to him, and he delivered and made it a 3-score game.
Extra point by Bass, up and good. And the lead is now 24. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it ends with a touchdown pass to Gabriel Davis. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. From the 6. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD, but unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10 at their own 22. Burrow's throw here into the hands of Boyd. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Burrow. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. So the screen good for only 2. Now it's 3rd down.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. They're passing here. Joe Burrow. He completes it to Boyd. And he is going to have a Bengals 1st down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert here on 3rd and 3.
Well, you can absolutely feel the thought process there. They just gave up the touchdown. So in the huddle, they're telling each other you don't want to give it back now on a 3-and-out. Nice job of making sure that they wouldn't, and they pick up the 1st down.
Throwing again, it's Burrow. This is caught. It's Boyd. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
Another first down as they call his number again. He's got 15 yards here. Well, those are the types of plays they probably wish they had made more of in the first 3 quarters. And this deficit going to be tough to overcome here in the fourth. But a nice first down and a pickup on that throw.
Yeah, and this is where as coaches, you're looking for effort and execution, even though the scoreboard is going against you. You want to find out who's going to fight, who's going to scrap, who's going to keep their heads up and continue to play.
And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. And Burrow going to throw again. Open man, it's complete to Higgins. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. 23 yards on the play. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad. They have their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Burrow. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here. This drive, which was going so smoothly, all of a sudden it's a little bit of a roadblock here with 2 straight incompletions.
Yeah, apparently this defense has had enough. Apparently they're saying no more. We're making a stand right here, right now. But it is 3rd and 10. They've got to get after him one more time.
On 3rd down, Burrow. And this one dropped in the end zone. Looked like a touchdown, but not to be, and now it's 4th down.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
Here we go. It's Burrow on 4th down. And incomplete on the deep ball. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Bills are going to get the football back. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here.
They've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the 4th quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score again, but it seems like this offense is just getting better as the game goes on. They've scored on their last 2 drives.
Certainly feels like a chance for them to continue to have some fun out there, doesn't it? Game's already decided, as you noted, so they can continue to play loose, break out some other concepts, maybe run a few trick plays, get other people involved. Heck, even go deep on one of these first snaps just because they can.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. So it's a victory here for the Buffalo Bills. And I tell you what, the snow, not only did it not dampen the crowd's enthusiasm, they were great, but it didn't slow down the offenses either.
Let's start with the first thing you said, the crowd. Normally when it snows, what do you want to do? You bundle up, right? You don't get out of your seat. You don't cheer as loudly. That didn't happen with this crew. They were into it. And then the second part, offenses execute at a high level when you expected maybe to see a few more turnovers. The ball slipped out of guys' hands. They took care of the ball in a big way.